Shalom. I want to give all praise, glory, and honor to Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham Racha HaKodash. Double honors to our apostles and elders, the great millstone who does lead and rule well. Salutations to all you hopeful elect Akim, pushing out this word in sincerity and in truth that the four corners of the earth. And sincere shalom to you, Akim and Akwaf, listening and learning, preparing yourselves here in these last days. And to the entire household of faith, fighting this good fight of faith, I want to say shalom. This is your brother Duquar from the DC camp. Come back at you another lesson. I'm entitled this one, How Can You Not Be Mad? All right? Because you got people that wanna say, why are you so angry? You know, even amongst our own people. But then you got these Edomites that try to question, why is Jake so upset? You know, and here's a quote on the screen. Here's a quote from James Baldwin back in the day. It says, to be a Negro, and you could just replace that word with Hebrew or Israelite, all right? Because it's not just the so-called Negroes, but the so-called Negroes are the head tribe, you know. So a lot of the things that goes on with us is pushed to the forefront. But to be a Negro in this country and to be relatively conscious is to be in a rage almost all the time. So that the first problem is how to control that rage so that it won't destroy you. All right. But the focus on the first part is to be enraged almost all the time if you're relatively conscious, man. You know? And I'm gonna get a little short clip and I'll show you. I'm not gonna show you the whole thing, but a discussion that they was having based upon the book that he wrote, a Negro in American Culture. You know? And this place is polluted. Is not built for us, man. You know, it's actually built against us. So on all levels, you know, why wouldn't we be upset, man? But this is Sirach 7 verse 7. It says, surely oppression maketh a wise man mad, and a gift destroyeth the heart. You know, but oppression makes it, if you're wise and you're privy to what's going on, not ignorance is bliss, you're gonna be upset, man. You're going to be mad. Okay? Let me get some of them words. Or, let me see. Comparison real quick. The CSB version says, surely the practice of extortion turns a wise person into a fool. Surely oppression destroys a wise man's reasons. Extortion. Okay. And yeah, so surely oppression maketh a wise man mad, and a gift destroyeth the heart. All right, so if you're wise and you see what's going on, you're going to be upset about it, man. If you have any goodness in you, see, but a gift. If you just started taking the gifts and you was just blind to everything else, all right, you wouldn't be you would. Those are the ones who don't care. You know. Hey, but when you see the oppression that's going on with not just you, but your brethren, you're upset. Same thing with Moses. Moses smoked the Egyptian, man. You know, but we got to be able to control that rage because we know where it's going to get us. You know? Now, the scriptures say what? Ephesians 4, verse 26, it says, be ye angry and sin not. Let not the sun go down upon your wrath. So we got to be wise, man. Wise as serpent and harmless as doves in this world, man, because it's straight set up as a snare and a trap. And in order to avoid those traps, you need the light and you need to walk with wisdom. All right. But let me show you that clip and I'm going to get a couple more scriptures. I'm going to close. I'm not going to make this lesson too long. Now, most of this, it was from a discussion. Like I said, on YouTube, you can watch it. The channel is the Post Archive. It says the Negro in American Culture, a group discussion. Baldwin, Hughes, Hansberry, Capuya. I don't know how to say that. And Kazin. You know, it's always good to read some of these comments. You know, it's just informative, man. and this stuff is from a long time ago. So the same things has been going on. So you can clearly see they actively they not trying to do any change, trying to make change. You know. All right. So I'm going to play this clip.
I don't know what most white people in this country feel. I can only include what they feel from the state of their institutions. I don't know if white Christians hate Negroes or not, but I know that we have a Christian church which is white and a Christian church which is black. I know, as Malcolm X once put it, that the most segregated hour in American life is high noon on Sunday. That says a great deal for me about a Christian nation. It means that I can't afford to trust most white Christians and certainly cannot trust the Christian church. I don't know whether the labor unions and their bosses really hate me. That doesn't matter, but I know I'm not in their unions. I don't know if the real estate lobby is anything against black people, but I know the real estate lobbyists keep me in the ghetto. I don't know if the Board of Education hates black people, but I know the textbooks they give my children to read and the schools that we have to go to. Now, this is the evidence. You want me to make an act of faith, risking myself, my wife, my woman, my sister, my children, on some idealism which you assure me exists in America, which I have never seen.
Yeah. So essentially, man, they say one thing, but their actions prove another, man. They want to question, oh, why are you not doing this, or act like they got love for Jake, right? But all their establishment on every level, the school systems, all right, the justice system, the housing, all right, how they distribute income or wealth, you know, all of it, all of our people, we're at the bottom. Now I was trying to find another video. Let me see if because I had posted it. 1 second. Even with you had the dude Darman Hamlin, the football player who had the cardiac arrest. I know I posted it somewhere. Give me 1 second, because Jake had he was speaking on it, man, just showing the hypocrisy. You know, if I could find it, man. Give me 1 second. Here we go. It was Damar Hamlin. Let me show you this real quick.
I'm gonna keep it real. We in left field. We in left field. I'm kind of hot right now too. I'm kind of hot because we do this every freaking time something happen on this field. Everybody want to pivot and act like they. I done heard people talking about, oh, you know, just the mental health of the players, and yeah, you could die. They don't even know they could die out here. We sit here and talk about this stuff every single time. Schedule remakes. How we gonna make it up? What the league feels about it, I don't give a damn what the league feels about it. Let's keep it real. Why we don't talk about the stuff that matters? This young man, you want to know how what this you need to know about him? He's 24 years old, right? He got a contract for $160,000. That's his bonus, and he earns $825,000 this year. You say, G. Bush, why are you talking about this man's money? Because guess what? He's been in the league 2 years. That means he's not vested. That means if he never plays another down in his life, he don't get another check for the NFL. Let's be clear about this. You got to play 3 to 4 years before you even sniff a pension. So all this heartwarming and prayers and condolences don't do nothing for that boy's mom that got to go home, look at her son, and he might need extensive care for the rest of his life. And you know what the NFL will tell you? Well, we'll look out for the people like him. No, you won't. No, you won't. Let's talk about the disability policy for the NFL, right? They moved it from $22,000 a month to $4,000 in the last collective bargaining agreement. Did you know that the NFL has a private board that reviews all aspects with their doctors and with their neurologists and their specialists? They can deny benefits even if Social Security deems you to be permanently disabled. The league can come back and then say, the government is they're experts, but let's take it over so we don't pay anything out. Only 15% get approved by Social Security. The league says that number should be lower. Get that. 15% of the people who apply for disability in this country, I know, I was a disability expert. It's very low. I submitted over almost 250,000 applications in 1 year one time. I know. Since the CTE settlement, only 6.5% of the settlement has been paid, according to the admin's website. I looked it up yesterday.
And the crazy thing about the CTE thing is they try to come up, I forget what it's called, the critical race theory. They use that to, because Jake is not as bright, that they pretty much aren't, they shouldn't get the same amount because they not really that messed up, if you will. It goes back into how they think that Jake can take the most pain and all that other stuff, And mind you, they doing all these prayers and acting like they care about Jake, but yet when they go into the real negotiations and the contracts, it's funny because who was saying that? Corey Holcomb. He was talking about y'all talking about Kanye and Kyrie. Well, talking about they evil and they haters. Well, show these contracts, man.
And 60% of the claims have a qualifying diagnosis but have not been paid. Let's talk about this. They're also moving the pension. And that pension, he got to make it to 55. He's 24. And they've moved that between 3,000. They moved it down to 3,000 when it was 5,600 a month. And the last stat that you should know about is the Bills owner Terry Pagula owns the Sabres as well as the Buffalo Bills, and his net worth is $6.7 billion. My question to you is, NFL, when do salaries become guaranteed? If you know these young men are going out there and they could die on that football field, I don't give a damn what your thoughts and prayers are. Do the right thing. I just heard Aditi say it 7 times. This is a savage sport. Men are dying every week, and you covered that up during CTE, and now you want to act like you the top of the food chain because you got the CPR people on the field on time? That's the least you should do. You're not going to pay that man's You're not going to pay that man's tuition for his kids. You're not going to give him no disability money. You're going to do nothing. All you do is collect them big checks, and we go play fantasy footballs, and I hear these dudes' thoughts and prayers for a whole damn 2 hours. Y'all don't care about them kids. These young black kids is putting on the line. And you telling them what they put on the line ain't worth it because you know why? Because you don't want to pay for somebody that's broken and battered and can't take care of themselves because it costs you money. So it is all about money. And I ain't heard nobody talking about no contracts. And he's sitting up here cashing these checks. We worship these owners. They do anything they want to. Anything. And as long as the product is good, we salute it. I'm pissed off today because ain't nobody talking about the real stuff. There's people out there, players are saying they just want to wait for us to die. I like the NFL just like the rest of y'all, but I'll be damned if I'm going to sit up there and pat Roger Goodell on the back for running this organization the way he does. They run it like a criminal organization. Sick of it. I'm tired of that, man. I just had to get that off my chest because all this stuff, you ain't talked about what this boy going to go through. This kid could be damaged the rest of his life. And we talk about making up games. I care about making up no damn football games.
Bernie Kosar is the one that said that. You mentioned the player that said they're waiting for us to die. I thought about that conversation we had with Bernie on this very set about the league not properly taking care of these gladiators that have churned out billions of dollars for these owners.
Yeah.
And
part of that
Bernie
is honestly, part of it is a failure of the leadership of the players' union.
That historically has been a problem.
Do the right thing. It don't take you or you to twist my arm to do something I should be doing for my players regardless. Everything ain't a negotiation. You getting billions. You can die today. That's a sliver of these people just...
I just had to play it to that part because that Edomite, yo, they try to turn it back on the failure on the players union. Come on, bro. But that's the Edomites for you, man. you know. But ultimately, I'm gonna get a couple more scriptures. I'm gonna close, man. I didn't want it to be that long, but I gotta make a run too. But I wanted to get this. This is Nehemiah 2 verse 2. It says, and that was just for educational purposes. You know, you seen who was the Ultimate Cleveland Sports Show. That's who posted that video. And Common was the one who posted the one with James Baldwin. But this is Nehemiah 2 verse 2. It says, wherefore the king said unto me, why is thy countenance sad, seeing thou art not sick? This is nothing else but sorrow of heart. Then I was very sore afraid. And the king said unto the king, let the king live forever. Why should not my countenance be sad when the city, the place of my father's sepulchres, lieth waste, and the gates thereof are consumed with fire? Right. Now, the king was asking Nehemiah, why was his countenance low? And he was like, his response was, why should it not be? When my whole culture, you know, the place where my forefathers were, is in ruins, man. We have no leadership, and it's consumed with so look, in this world right now, we don't even have a land. But if you go through the what they call the midst of the streets of Jerusalem, man, you go to these ghettos, these hoods where majority of Jake says, and it's fucking horrible, man. You know? It's bad, and they know it. But what do? They speak about how much they care, but they don't do anything. It's just bad, man. You know, particularly in DC last week. I mean, we know what it looks like, but it just was a sight out of a movie, man. You know, Jake on drugs, Jake poor, shitting all on the streets. You know, half of them junkies, half of them dealers. You listen to the music that they allow. You know, the TVs. You know, you can't raise your children. You got men that want to be able to see their children, and they can't. Long custody battles, battling child support. You know, they throwing life sentences at Jake. How our people is destroyed, man. But see, that sorrow of heart or that anger, yeah, you come to the Lord, man. Ezekiel 9:4 talks about for the men that sighing and crying for all the abominations done in the midst thereof. You get that mark on your head. You got to come to the Lord, because that's where in the world we're gonna have tribulation, but in the Lord we're gonna have peace, man. Peace, knowing that this is not gonna be going on forever, man. And you got to know what times that we in. All right. This Jeremiah 7 verse 34 says, then will I cause to cease from the cities of Judah and from the streets of Jerusalem the voice of mirth and the voice of gladness, the voice of the bridegroom and the voice of the bride, for the land shall be desolate. And so this is the mindset that we in, man. We've been made desolate. We're not happy about this punishment, you know. We're not happy about, we're not falling in love with oppression, man. Okay? And then we see what's about to go down, man. We see the judgment. We see the Lord about to do what he got to do. So what mindset should we be in? Ezekiel 21:10, it says, it is sharpened to make a sore slaughter. It is furbished, and it was talking about a sword. It is furbished that it may glitter. Should we then make mirth? Yeah, man. Should we then make mirth? Is this to be a time of mirth? But see, you people, you Jakes, because you talking about it's boring. We make serving the Lord to be boring. Hey, man, that's what they said when they was wanting to bake cakes to the Queen of Heaven, man. What profit is it for us to serve the Lord? Huh? It's ain't a time to be, it's a time of reflection, man. Jake is something else, boy. This is Amos. What was that? And then the title of it says, those at ease in Zion, man. I'm going to get straight to it. This is Amos 6 verse 3. It says, ye that put far away the evil day and cause the seed of violence to come near. See? that lie upon beds of ivory and stretch themselves upon their couches and eat the lambs of the flock and the calves of the midst of the stall, the chant of the sound of the viol, and and invent to themselves instruments of music like David, that drink wines in bowls and anoint themselves with the chief ointments, but they are not grieved for the affliction of Joseph. Let me get the comparison the elder showed me. The CSB, they drink wine by the bowlful and anoint themselves with the finest oils, but do not grieve over the ruin of Joseph. Oh, this is the NLT. It says, you drink wine by the bowlful and perfume yourself with fragrant lotions. You care nothing about the ruin of your nation, man. You got these jakes, they out here flexing all this money. What about the rest of your people, man? And this is why that's why Moses was different. You know, this is why David was different. The men of the Lord, they have a different, that relatively conscious thing that they want to talk about, or to be truly woke. And that is to know this truth, to be set free, and you actually see what's going on. And we're grieved for it. Paul, he said, I wish that he could be a curse for his people. You know? Psalms 11 and 7 and 11 says, the Most High judgeth the righteous, and the Most High is angry with the wicked every day. The Lord is angry with them every day. How much more so are we going to be angry too? You know? David said, do not hate them that hate thee, O Lord. You know? It's crazy, man. They say, 2 Peter 2 verse 7, and delivered just Lot, vexed with the filthy conversation of the wicked. So we're going to be vexed with what's going on in this place, man. Hey, if we was with the Lord from the beginning, we helped create it, and we saw, and the angels, the power saw that it was good, and we see the condition of the world, even to the very food that everything that we see is just, it vexes us. And then we complain. We're the justice complaining to the Lord, man. You know? Hosea 9 verse 7, it says, the days of visitation are come, the days of recompense are come. Israel shall know it. The prophet is a fool, the spiritual man is mad, for the multitude of thine iniquity and the great hatred. So when they say the prophet is a fool, the spiritual man is insane or mad, this is what people in Israel said about Hosea. When things was prospering and everybody was happy, and the prophet is announcing the judgment and call for repentance, they looking at us like we crazy and fool. They like, y'all need to just get along with, go along. Y'all mad because of y'all choosing this life, because they not caring about the things that the Lord cares about. You know. In effect, they pretty much like, who in his right mind would prophesy a judgment like this when everything is beautiful, when we thriving? They saying that themselves is prospering in this world is a proof of the Lord's blessing, man. That's the gift destroying the heart. I'm gonna close on this one, man. This is Psalm 137, and the title says, an experience of captivity. And this short, so I'll read the whole thing. It says, by the rivers of Babylon, there we sat down. Yeah, we wept. We remembered Zion. See, they ain't even thinking about, you know, where we came from, man. All they think about is them being African Americans, man. The Lord said if they would have thought about that land which they came, they might have opportunity to have returned. You know, it says, we hanged our harps upon the willows in the midst thereof, for there they that carried us away captive required of us a song, and they wasted and they that wasted us required of us mirth, saying, sing us one of those songs of Zion. So they wanted mirth out of us, man. They sought to be amused by us, man. And that request itself is an insult to our faith. knowing, look at us. But they want us to be happy. Same sentiments as shut up and dribble. You kneel down to protest injustices amongst your people, and then that they take your whole life away because now you interrupting their lives. They preach on one hand, we're all equal, everybody matter, all lives matter, but they show you how much your life don't matter compared to how they react to when something happens to them versus to when it happens to us, right? It was impossible to sing that song, man, in this land. You got people singing joyous and prospering in this land. Are you serious, man? That goes against... we don't even have a city, man. That citizenship that we stood for, man. Okay? It says, how shall we sing, verse 4, how shall we sing Yahweh's song in a strange land? If I forget thee, O Jerusalem, let my right hand forget her cunning. You know, when you don't know how to play anymore. If I do not remember thee, let my tongue cleave to the roof of my mouth. If I prefer not Jerusalem above my chief joy. Meaning, there ain't no singing, ain't no playing, man. You know? So it's a mindset based upon the times, man, that Jake need to be thinking about. You know? So, hey, with that, Lord willing, it was edifying. Till the next lesson, I want to give all praise, glory, and honor to Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham, Rakakadash. Till the next one, I want to say Shalom.